What's up everybody? Welcome to my 25th JavaScript tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be learning how to create objects and what objects are. So what an object is pretty much a different way to organize information in JavaScript. It's a lot easier, well, I'm not going to say easier, but it's different than a variable, and a lot of people think it's a lot easier, so I figured might as well teach you. Now there are two ways that you can actually make objects in JavaScript, and those are a constructor function, which we're going to be learning how to do today, or by using something called an object initializer. So let's go ahead and start with our constructor function to build our first object. Now I'm going to be putting this in the head of our document, since we don't really want to put it in the body because we don't really want the user to see it. We just need it to tell the browser what to do. So go ahead and start building your function by typing in the word function. Let me move my mouse so you can see it. And let's make computer. Why? Because computers are always fun to play around with. So right now what we did right here is we defined our function. We have a function and we're going to name it computer. Now in the parameters we're going to be filling in those later, but right now I'm just going to leave them empty. And right here inside your brackets, this is where all the properties go. So again, define your function, name it whatever you want to name it. I name mine computer, and inside here is where the properties go. Now all of this right here is the basic building ground for your constructor function. This is what all the layouts are pretty much going to look like. So now that I showed you what it's going to look like, let's go ahead and fill this bad boy in. The parameters that I'm going to use for my computer, again, you can use any, but I want to give mine something that has properties, so I'm going to go with drive for hard drive. Let's go with RAM, and let's go with CPU. And what we need to do in our properties is actually assign values to our parameters. Right now we have parameters, but they don't really mean anything, and the computer doesn't really know what to do with them. So to do this, and to give kind of a variable to them, we need to use a keyword called this. How ironic. And again, these are the things you can change, but this keyword this, it's a built-in JavaScript keyword and you cannot change it at all. So don't even think about it. So what we want to do is go ahead and type this drive in equals, and if you're wondering why we're doing this, we're gonna give a value to this drive. So this drive is gonna go ahead and equal drive. And if this sounds like an extra step that you don't need to take, then complain to JavaScript. So next we want to do this RAM, and we're gonna set it equal to RAM. And of course, don't be like me and forget your semicolons. And last but not least, there we go. This CPU equals CPU. So what we did pretty much here is make it a lot easier to work with. So now whenever we call CPU, it knows exactly what one we're talking about. So before we can actually start calling these variables, we need to make something called an instance. Now this is let me show you the syntax for it real quick, and then you guys will understand it a lot more. Again, in your head, still, let me scroll down a little bit so you can see. We're going to make a variable. There we go. And we're going to name this my new comp, for my new computer. Now after this, you want to go ahead and type the keyword new. And what this does is show JavaScript in the browser that we're going to give this object a new set of properties. So we're going to type new computer. So you type new and then whatever your function's name is, and then inside those parameters you can go ahead and type 3 new values. So I'm gonna go ahead and type let's type hard, because we want our drive to be hard, and let's type 3 gigabytes because that's how much RAM we want. And let's go ahead and type Intel, because that's what kind of processor we want. Now as you can see, what we are doing is assigning new values to our object right here. Here's what we're pretty much saying. We want our drive to be hard for a hard drive, we want 3 gigabytes of RAM, and we want an Intel processor. So if this all doesn't really make sense to you right now, I'm going to stop my tutorial right now because I'm taking up a bunch of time. But watch my next tutorial and we'll put all this to use and everything will just light up and you'll be able to understand it like a piece of cake. So thanks for watching. Make sure you check out my next tutorial.